What is good, YouTube? Welcome back for another banger. On this channel we discuss everything cryptocurrency and investing, and if you like the sound of that, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's jump into the video. So main news today straight out of Nigeria is that the Nigerian Central Bank has ordered banks to close all accounts of crypto users. So there is a new directive by the central bank. Effective immediately, they should identify persons or entities transacting with cryptocurrency or operating cryptocurrency exchanges on their platforms and ensure that such accounts are closed immediately. Any breaches of the order would face severe regulatory sanctions. So this has actually caused Binance, yes Binance, the same Binance, the biggest cryptocurrency exchange in the world by daily transacted volume, to suspend all deposits in Nigerian Naira. Nigerian Naira is the fiat currency in Nigeria. So first of all, this is not a ban. This is not a ban on cryptocurrency, and cryptocurrency is not illegal in Nigeria. What they've done, very similar to what India did, is they've actually sort of lent onto the banks that they do regulate, because you can't actually ban a cryptocurrency. So what they've done is they've lent on the banks, and they've told the banks that they should identify businesses, so whether it's crypto related businesses, crypto related exchanges, crypto fintech companies, and stop providing them services, and also identify individuals who are buying or selling crypto and stop providing them banking services, which essentially removes the fiat on-ramp, so people can't buy and sell as easy. And if, for example, the likes of Binance can't get a bank account, it means they can't operate and people can't buy. So it kills the demand straight away and any incentive to buy or hold cryptocurrencies, because it'll be very difficult for you to buy or sell. This is actually really big news, and really sad news as well. Why? Well, Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa. Nigeria is also the biggest economy in Africa. Nigeria's population is also projected to double by 2050, and this would then make Nigeria the third most populous country in the world after India and China. Nigeria is actually the second biggest Bitcoin market in the world after the United States. The second biggest Bitcoin market in the world after the United States. And it's one of the top 10 countries for cryptocurrency adoption as a whole. So those of you sitting perhaps in the West, in Europe, wondering how this potentially affects you, well, one of the biggest countries in Africa, and what will soon be one of the biggest, most populous countries in the world, has just been removed and stripped of their right to adopt cryptocurrency, which takes a massive sea of demand out of the pool, and therefore reduction in demand with the finite supply doesn't help push and increase crypto prices. And more importantly, hundreds of millions of people have just been denied their right to their own financial freedom, their right to own their financial freedom. The Naira has been slaughtered against Bitcoin. High levels of inflation have slaughtered it against the pound, the dollar and the euro. So cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin were the perfect way, an easy way for young tech-savvy Nigerians to preserve their wealth, and it's now been taken away from them. This will probably just drive more Nigerian users to peer-to-peer cryptocurrency exchanges like local Bitcoins, which was quite similar to what happened in India. Hopefully the government do change their minds, as it will definitely take away a lot of investment and growth and development away from Nigeria. In other news, Bitfinex have finally repaid the outstanding 750 million Tether loan, which will hopefully finally bring the Tether Fud, fair uncertainty doubt, to an end. So there was an ongoing case with the New York Attorney General, and questions around whether Tether was actually fully backed. So Tether, the stable coin, was fully backed by actual USD in a vault or bank somewhere. And yep, the loan has finally been paid back, and Bitfinex issues a statement saying Bitfinex is happy to announce that in January it repaid the remaining balance of $550 million of the outstanding revolving loan facility to Tether. Bitfinex made this payment in fiat currency wired to Tether's bank account All interest due on the loan has been paid. The loan has now been repaid early and in full, and the line of credit has been cancelled. So there will be no further loans, according to Bitfinex, between Tether and Bitfinex and vice versa. And hopefully, finally, this Tether Fud, which has been around the market for years and years and years, around Tether and Bitfinex, would finally be put to bed. Great news, and hopefully we never have to talk about Tether and Bitfinex ever again. Next up, very, very interesting. Chinese city Suzhou, probably butchered that, apologies, is to distribute $5 million in digital Yuan in a lottery giveaway. So China is extending its digital Yuan trials across the country. It proved to be very, very successful, and the city government will distribute 150 red packets, each with 200 Yuan, around $31. This will be done through a giveaway which will take place on Friday, and the results will be announced on February 10th. What's actually interesting is that the government has sort of whitelisted a few companies like JD.com, which is an e-commerce partner, and a few other private stores, and those are the only places they can spend their money on, and they would only have between the 10th and the 26th to actually spend their money. I'd love to know what people's thoughts on central bank digital currencies are. Obviously not Bitcoin, and they're still fiat currency, just a digital version of fiat currencies. But then there are pros and cons. For example, faster, cheaper, allows governments to easily be able to pay, for example, provide stimulus checks or benefits or grants to individuals and incentivize them. I don't know if it's a good thing, but governments can, for example, in this scenario, the government, so in this scenario, they have 16 days to spend the money, and maybe it's going to be gone, or they're going to delete the money. And you can imagine maybe in 5 or 10 years, say there is a downturn and the government wants to pump the economy, so they might issue grants or stimulus checks, and then they may place time frames, so you've got a month, 2 months, 3 months to spend this grant or stimulus checks. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, not sure if that's a bad thing, because so much power. You also saw in the United States in the lockdown period about $1.4 billion in stimulus checks were actually sent to deceased Americans. The government was so in a rush to send out the stimulus checks. The government was so in a rush to send out the stimulus checks that he sent $1.4 billion worth of stimulus checks to dead people. With central bank digital currencies, this obviously wouldn't be an issue or a problem, and with the delays in the stimulus checks that we're seeing right now, governments wouldn't have those delays. But then at the same time, but on the negative side, you've got lack of privacy. Government's been able to see what you spend your money on. Government being able to dictate what you spend your money on. Government's been able to freeze your money at any time, willy-nilly, anytime they feel to do so. Yeah, comment down below. Are you a fan? You agree, disagree? I love it. Next up, crypto firm MetalPay has applied for a US federal banking charter license. We're seeing more and more of these by the day. Anchorage were the first to get theirs, and Kraken, I believe, have one. I'm going to see more and more. Paxos and BitPay also have one. MetalPay has been around in the game for a long time now. They've got an app that allows you to buy and sell cryptocurrency. It's pretty sleek. And they also have a token as well. This may or may not cause the token to pump. They've been in the game for a long time now. I think it launched in like 2017. So that might be good for the token. MetalPay actually incentivize you to spend your cryptocurrency by paying you rewards in their native token. So yeah, maybe that will cause a pump for MetalPay. Next up, Mexico's third wealthiest man just changed his Twitter bio to Bitcoin, just like Elon Musk. So Ricardo Salinas Peligo, I hope I pronounced that right, is worth around $13 billion. He is a Mexican businessman and founder and chairman of the Grupo Salinas, a group of companies with interest in telecommunications, media and financial services, and retail. You may have seen him on various interviews. He invested in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust many years ago, and bought Bitcoin very, very cheap. And he's been holding his Bitcoin. He's added Bitcoin to his Twitter bio just like Elon Musk. and Jack Dorsey. We may see more and more of this, and coming from more conservative, less radical business leaders. Not to say that Elon Musk is, say, radical, but it may just encourage more individuals in the traditional financial space to poke their head into crypto. Love to see it. Moving on. Bill Miller has filed with the SEC to get his main fund, the flagship fund, exposure to Bitcoin and up to 15% in Bitcoin. So the fund may seek investment exposure to Bitcoin indirectly by investing in the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, an entity that holds Bitcoin. And they've said there would be up to 15% of their assets at the time of investment, so a maximum of 15%. So the assets under management for Miller Opportunity Trust currently is $2.25 billion, or estimated to be around $2.25 billion, which would mean they would invest up to $337 million in Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust. So legendary investor Bill Miller, he's already dipped his toe into Bitcoin with a small investment in another trust. So great to see more adoption in crypto space. Moving on, Square are leading a crypto-led consortium to fight Craig Wright. We all know Craig Wright, the self-proclaimed Satoshi Nakamoto, which we all know he isn't, and he's claiming copyright on the Bitcoin white paper, and he wants it taken down because he says it's his and it belongs to him. And big up Jack Dorsey and Square leading a consortium in a fight against Craig Wright. Next up, and final story of the day, Dogecoin is pumping. Dogecoin's currently going to the moon, and I'm having a load of friends telling me should they buy Dogecoin. They're not even talking about Bitcoin or Ethereum, they're all talking about Dogecoin. And I just wanted to put on your radar, guys, that Dogecoin is heavily centralized. One particular address owns over 27% of the supply, and the top 20% and the top 20 addresses hold over 50% of the supply of Dogecoin. It is highly centralized. The founder of Dogecoin left the project because it was started off as a meme, and then people started to get greedy with it, and he walked out from the project, and they are not developing it any further, as I believe it's always been traditionally a fun meme joke coin that gets pumped and dumped. I'm not saying you shouldn't invest in it, I'm not saying you should decide what to do, it's your money, I'm not a financial advisor, but I just want you to know it is very centralized. On Twitter, CZ, CEO of Binance, said when discussing the pros and cons of Dogecoin, he said, some pros, risk of Doge. Pros, it's cool, it's fun. PR manager Elon Musk, Elon Musk, Dogecoin king of the memes. And he says decentralized in the sense that there is no core team because the project is abandoned. As I said, no one's working on Doge. It's a joke coin. Risks. One address holds 27% of all Doge. One address owns almost a third of all Doge, and the top 20 addresses hold more than 50% of all Doge. Kind of centralized in that sense, abandoned. So at any point, guys, the owners of Doge, those holding the majority of the supply of Doge can choose to dump on you. And if you look at Dogecoin's history, it always pumps and it dumps and it pumps and it dumps and it pumps and it dumps and it pumps and it dumps. And this is the latest pump. We don't know when it's going to dump. The rally might go on for a little bit longer. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I just want you guys to be vigilant that it's highly centralized. But anyway, that was it from me. If you made it to the end, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Show.